Are you curious how you're going to push your baby out or what type of position you'll use to push your baby out? Well, stay tuned for this whole video where we talk about all of that. I'm Haley. I'm a labor and delivery nurse, childbirth educator, certified breastfeeding counselor, doula, and mom of 2, soon to be 3. And this is my good friend Vicki. She's a fellow labor and delivery nurse, and she's here to help assist me. I know most people think their doctor is going to be there holding their hand, coaching them through every push, but most likely what's going to happen is your labor and delivery nurse is going to be the one who's coaching you through all of it, and then when she starts to see head, your doctor will ride in on their white shining horse, draw their sword, and cut the cord and pull the baby out, right? So we are going to discuss ways that you can be proactive and maybe making some recommendations of like, hey, can I try to push like this or like this? Because some providers will come in and they're very comfortable with you pushing it in a certain way because they're used to delivering that way. That way is usually the lithotomy position, where you're very much like this, grab at the back of your legs, pulling them back, taking a deep breath in, holding it, and pushing down as hard as you can while they count to 10. Blowing it out, trying to get another breath in, pushing as hard as you can for the count of 10, all while you're having a contraction. If you have an epidural, they'll tell you when you're having a contraction. If you don't have an epidural, you'll know when you're having a contraction, and you'll push through that. So that's called coaching or directed pushing. The other way is mother-directed pushing, where she feels the pressure, she feels the contraction, and she pushes for what feels normal to her. So bearing down like you're having a bowel movement and you're doing a sit-up at the same time, but see, I'm still talking and let breath out, but I'm using a lot of my force. So you don't necessarily have to hold the breath. It does make things go a little bit quicker, but it's actually not evidence-based or recommended. So if it feels comfortable to you and it makes sense to you, go for it. If it doesn't, you want to do something different, you are the one that is birthing your baby. No one else can do it for you. And so even if your provider is recommending you do one thing and you feel like you're not comfortable with that or you want to do something else, you're the one in charge. Literally, if you say I'm not pushing, everyone's going to sit around and not do anything because you're the one that has to push the baby out. So here are some other positions that you could try if you wanted to. One would be, what's after this?
We can do on your side.
Yeah, we can push on our side. So I can push on my side like this. Going down. And what this does is that other lithotomy position where you're kind of on your back and tilted up closes off the posterior pelvis. And so it makes the space a little bit smaller for baby to get out of, whereas this way actually opens that space up more for baby to get down and out. So you can still push the same exact way like this with the support of your labor and delivery nurse, your partner maybe supporting your head, pushing down, bearing down, and it will go smoother usually and shorter because you have more open space for baby to rotate and move down and out. You can try on both sides. You can push on this side for a while and then push on the other side, and make sure that between 5 or 10 pushes that you are stretching your legs out, okay? And that anyone who's holding your legs isn't like pushing your legs all the way up to here, because we all get really excited for delivery, especially partners, and they want to push with you, and you can end up really, tearing or injuring the soft tissue muscles in your pelvis and in your legs because of all that excitement. So you don't want to be so sore that you can't walk after you have your baby. That's just a little side note, right? And then the other one is going to be, we can do hands and knees.
First, let's do the knees closed.
Yeah, knees closed.
Before you hop over.
See, that's why you're the nurse and I'm just the patient right now.
So this can work on either side or on your back.
Right. So here, we'll do it on the side just for filming purposes.
So the same way that we had the peanut between the lower part of your legs here, we can also push this way. So again, we're opening the space back here, letting baby come down through that lower part of the pelvis a little easier.
It's almost like you're doing a cannonball with your feet out to the side. And again, it just opens up the pelvis. It gives baby lots of room to rotate and move out of the pelvis. And it's just a good way to change up if you've been pushing for a while, because on average, first time moms push between 1 and 3 hours. But that's not gonna be you. You're gonna push for like 20 minutes to get that baby out. All right, and so then the other way would be, and again, this is kind of a you preference, not a provider preference, because most providers are comfortable with that first way we were talking about pushing. Midwives are really comfortable with this. Most of them are, and some providers are, but it's something to talk to your provider about. And if it's something that feels really good to you and you feel strongly about it, have a voice, speak up, know what your rights are, which you are the patient, you have the right, no one can make you do or say or agree to anything that you don't want to. And I'll get off my soapbox about that now. All right, so again, you would just be like this, and instead of pushing in any of those other positions, you can hold on to here, you can hold on to the mattress, take a deep breath in, bear down, and push just like this. Okay, so it's the same concept with during a contraction, you take a deep breath in, you bear down as hard as you can for about 3 times during the contraction, and then in between contractions, you rest and you gather your strength. Maybe take a sip of water, maybe get a wet cloth, because this is hard work and I'm not even really pushing. Then that concludes what we can do without a squat bar. But now we're gonna get a squat bar, and bear with us because these are new beds. So this next,
That's really high.
oh, it's right here, yeah.
That's way high.
There we go. All right, so this next, again, if you have an epidural and you've got good movement in your legs, you can do this with or without an epidural. Should we drop this a little bit? Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So the thought process behind this, again, is to help gravity use itself. It's to use gravity to help move baby down. And also with gravity, you're feeling more pressure. You have the urge to push, and it helps kind of connect the mind body of where to push. So during a contraction, you would come up, squat down like this, and push down as hard as you could. Okay? Just like you did in the other areas. I find this one really helpful when someone is finding it hard to connect mind and body of where to push. I really like using it for that purpose more than anything. When it comes time to, when the baby starts to crown or starts to come out, I usually like for them to lean back because studies have shown that if you deliver in the squatting position, chances of you tearing or tearing more significantly are higher. So if that's really useful to help get you to that point where baby's crowning or the baby's head is starting to come out. And then you may want to do something like this where you're still in the squatting position, but you're not having all of that pressure on your perineum that would increase your risk of tearing or tearing more than you would otherwise. And so then another way that we could help to get some leverage while you're pushing is we can push like this. And since you can't reach the bar, you would use a sheet or a blanket or a boza or whatever, and your midwife or labor and delivery nurse or provider or your mailman, whoever, holds one side, you hold the other side. When it's time to push, you have that contraction. Take a deep breath in, and you pull yourself up like this, rounding over your belly, creating that C curve in your spine, opening up the pelvis, and giving yourself lots of traction to be able to really give that in the pushing. This really helps as well, especially if you've been squatting for a while and you're tired from that. This is a helpful one to do as well. So that concludes the pushing stage. So once you push, your baby comes out, should go skin to skin with you, and you should enjoy some lovely snuggle time for at least an hour. Nurses can do all the vital signs, everything they need to do on baby, but we'll do another video about all of that another time. I hope this video on pushing was helpful for you guys. I hope you all have wonderful, beautiful, short, natural deliveries. and enjoy your babies. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and remember, you got this.